Yam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram. Om Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata Narayanena swayam Vyasena grathitam purana munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita varshinim bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam anusandadhami Bhagavad Geeta bhavadveshinim. Yam brahma varunendra rudra marutaha stunvanti divyaistavaihi vedai sanga padakramo panishadaihi gayanti yam samagaha dhyanavasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginaha yasyantam na viduh sura suraganaha devaya tasmai namaha devaya tasmai namaha. Salutations to all of you. So 17th chapter is called as Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. This is a chapter which is titled as the division of threefold faith. So we saw that why we have to understand Shraddha in three aspects: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, and how if we transform our Shraddha into Sattvic, our Swabhav can become Sattvic. And so Bhagavan described Ahar, Yajna, Dana, Tapa. These four things he will describe in these three classifications: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Yesterday we saw about Ahar and about Yajna. Today we see about Tapa and Dana. Tapa, the moment we say the word Tap, one thinks that it is something which is very difficult to do. Tapas means to sit below a tree for a long period of time, emaciating oneself, not eating, not drinking, having a long jata, long beard. It is meant for only people who are tapasvis. Gurudev used to give a very wonderful definition of tapas. Tap, see, the opposite of tap is pat. Pat means to fall. So tap means to rise. So any attempt that we do to rise from where we are to a higher level is called as tapas. If we have fallen, to rise, bounce back is tapas. Otherwise, from where we are to rise higher, to evolve higher is called as tapas. Any achievement is possible only if there is tapas in life. So tapas is not meant only for rishis and sannyasis. Anybody, if they have to achieve anything, requires tapas. One of the meanings of the word tapas is concentration. So it is said, Aikagryam Paramam Tapaha. Concentration is a supreme tapas. To focus the mind, to hold on to one line of thinking or to hold on to one goal, it is not very easy. The mind becomes very fickle. To signify concentration is where that picture is given of people who are for a long period of time sitting and meditating, meaning they are focusing their mind. And if I want to achieve any success, whether it's in sports or in studies, in work, in any aspect of my life, I need tapas. Consistent effort, concentrated effort. Very important. In fact, any change if you want to bring about in yourself, there's a beautiful formula that we have made. change is equal to conviction plus courage plus consistency plus concentration. 4 aspects. I want to transform, I want to change, I have to bring these 4 into my life. One is the conviction, which is what we are talking about, Shraddha. I must have the conviction that why I want to do it, and I must have the sattvic conviction, sattvic Shraddha. So even if simple thing, I want to lose weight, I must have that conviction. And if the sattvic, the conviction, the more easier it is to follow it consistently, because it is self-motivated. It is not motivated because of anything else. I want to lose weight because it's for the good of the body, and that is how the body should be, and it is the need of the body to do exercise, then it is a sattvic conviction. If I say that no, because people will look at me and I have this particular party coming up and in that they are going to appreciate me, then the motivation lies outside me. So conviction plus courage. One is to have conviction. Second is the courage to discipline the mind, to say no to certain tempting food that comes in front of me, because I know that it will make me put on. It is contrary to what I am planning to do. Courage to say no to the mind when I wake up in the morning and the mind still says it's okay, go to sleep. No, I will not do it. So courage, conviction plus courage plus consistency. I have to do it every day. Can't do 2 days and then drop it for 3 days and then again pick up for another 3 days. And when I do it, I must do it with complete focus, concentration. If these 4 are there, any change is possible. Whether it is a change in individual personality or a change in the world outside or in a system, anywhere. These 4 have to be there. Am I convinced? Do I have the courage? Can I do it consistently? Can I do it with focus? So Bhagavan, he mentions tapas here. So tapas, one is to evolve higher, is called as tapas. In psychology they call it breaking out of your comfort zone. Second, concentration also is tapas. That when I am able to do something with complete focus, it is tapas. Third, tapas is also how to bear the tiny pinpricks of life. Austerity, titiksha can also be called as tapas. Here I bear small things that keep happening. Somebody just makes a loose comment, or something that I wanted did not happen. Some particular facility I don't have. Let me bear small pinpricks of life. Tapas. So that mind remains focused. Otherwise small things become big issues. So in life, if I have to succeed, I have to remember one thing very clearly. Essentials should remain essentials. Non-essentials should never become the essentials. Non-issues should not become the issues. But small things we make such big issue out of it. I sent an SMS, he didn't even reply. Gone. Mind is disturbed. Where will the focus be then? Little things can disturb the mind. So to remain focused, it's very important that titiksha is there, tapas is there. Okay, these things will happen. Somebody will pass some comment, some heat, cold, pleasure, pain. This will keep coming. Let me keep my focus. That concentration comes only when there is titiksha. In cricket we have this 2 aspects. One is you should know how to play strokes. Straight drive and square cut and sixer and whatever. You need to know how to play strokes. Second is, we should also know how to let go the ball without touching. And in India we don't learn that properly. So when we go abroad to the foreign pitches, bouncy tracks, and they put outswinger, happily we'll poke our bat. Gift away the wicket. Go, take. Somebody says something, some unfavorable thing happens, unexpected events happen, some business loss happens, some weather goes for a toss, stock market keeps on crashing, recession happens, so many things will happen. Tapas is to keep our focus. So to bear the tiny pinpricks of life is tapas. And another definition of tapas is very beautiful, is Swadharma Anushtan is tapas. To focus on the performance of our duty unconditionally itself is a tapas. For a student to study systematically, regularly, going to the college, doing the work, studying properly, getting exams cleared, all that is tapas. For a householder to focus on performance of duty towards the family, towards the society, itself is tapas. And many people say, Swamiji, you know, household life is not easy. Because they think we don't know. You know, my kitchen is breaking up and now next week only the guests are also going to come, and you know, then this dog of mine has a problem, then this is happening, then that is happening, and in between all this my mother-in-law has dropped in. What to do now, Swamiji? Household life, you know, agitation. So to do the duty in spite of all this and remain focused on the duty itself is tapas. So, to be steadfast in one's swadharma, to be steadfast in the role that one is having. As a student, as a householder, as a father, mother, son, so many roles we play. That itself is tapas. So the idea of tapas is to evolve higher. And Swami Taponji Maharaj used to live in a very austere way. So Gurudev used to say, what is tapas? He would give his example. Swami Tapon Maharaj is the guru of Swami Chinmaya. So he would say he is the embodiment of austerity. And that definition of austerity there was very simple. He would say simple living and high thinking is austerity. Very simple living. It doesn't have too many things. He wouldn't even have anything extra. Not even one pair of clothes will be extra with him. Nothing extra. So tapas is something which everyone requires. And depending on the stage of life, the nature of tapas also differs. Now here Bhagavan is going to describe tapas of the body, of the speech, of the mind. This portion is very beautiful. Actually, if these three verses which are going to come now, if you memorize these three verses and keep repeating it to yourself every day and absorb the ideas conveyed therein, you will see a total transformation in your personality. And that this tapas, if you can do, this is real tapas. Not just, you know, standing in the sun for a long time, not eating, not drinking, doing upvas. Those things are one aspect. This is real tapas. Now let us see what is the tapas at the body level. 14th verse.
Deva Dvija Guru Prajna
Deva Dvija Guru Prajna
Pujanam Shaucha Marjavam
Pujanam Shaucha Marjavam
Brahmacharya Mahimsa Cha
Brahmacharya Mahimsa Cha
Shariram Tapa Uchyate
Shariram Tapa Uchyate
Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucha Marjavam Brahmacharya Mahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
So he says Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. So first discipline or tapas at the body level is worship. Worship Deva, worship the Lord. Daily do some puja, some Ishtadevta Upasana, hold on to one form. Physical discipline. And in our culture this discipline was, it is like a mandatory. Every day one chants the Gayatri Mantra, does the Ishtadevta's puja and the Upasana. And even today you will find many people, they have many idols in the altar. So they will, if they don't know the traditional puja, doesn't matter, but they will definitely wash and put the flower and put the lamp and do the agarbatti and all that they will do. The physical discipline. Why? Because mind is very restless, very extroverted. Very easily it forgets the reality. If somebody gives us food, we say thank you to that person. But we forget the Lord who gave us a capacity to eat, to digest and assimilate that food. Because what we don't see, they have the saying, no, out of sight, out of mind. So Bhagavan, first thing that goes out of our to-do list, the moment we get up late, is what? Puja. Aaj no time for Bhagavan. And Bhagavan will understand, It's okay. I will do everything else. And anyway, doing all this also is worship only, no? I am going to office, I am going to take care of my family. All that is also worship. Why do I have to sit and do separately? That is all escapism. Do you do it as worship? Do you do it with a bhavana that my son is Bhagavan in another form? Swamiji, if he is a human in another form, is good. He behaves like a Rakshas only. So we don't do it with that bhavana. If the bhavana of Ishvara Arpan is not there, how it becomes puja? It is easier to believe an idol than to believe human being, right? That is not the logic of puja in any case. But the idea is that that idol is a symbol to remind us of the divinity, that there is a divinity in life. And that same divinity is in my heart. If I use that form, make my mind quiet, I will experience that divinity inside me only. That I am divine, over. But I don't know that. My mind runs outside. Thinking happiness is outside. And hence, if a discipline is there every day, I have to sit in front of the altar and do the puja. You may say that, but will it not become mechanical? It may become mechanical, but still do it. Because somewhere or the other that sensitivity, that bhavana will arise. Someday you do something wrong and come and you have to sit in front of Bhagavan. Will you not feel guilty? That this is what I have done, I am very sorry. It will come up, no? Because slowly the relationship is built. It doesn't remain an idol. The relationship with the Ishvara is built. For the person who loves the country, the flag is the symbol. The flag is not the country. Same way, idol is not Bhagavan. So one says that, why are Hindus worshipping the idols? They are superstitious people. We worship the idol because, as Gurudev said, we don't worship the idols, we worship the ideals behind the idol. And so every day when I sit and do, I am imbibing the ideals. Lifting my mind up. Disciplining my body, mind to withdraw, right? That I have to see the idol. Once I do the puja, I sit quietly, visualize the form in my mind. So I am sitting, first of all, for such a long time. That itself is great. I am sitting quietly with all the senses turned in. I am sitting with the mind focused on the Lord. So many aspects are there to it. It's a beautiful science of integrating the whole personality. Keeping the body, mind, intellect in one place. Where the senses, the devotion will keep the mind together. The ideals will keep the intellect together. And there, the peace that you feel, then you know that wherever I am, if I can bring body, mind, intellect together, I will excel. Plus, the spiritual part, I tune up to the spiritual aspect. We generally forget that aspect. Body we take care of very well, intellect we take care of very well, but the mind and the spiritual part we ignore generally. And that is why we have all the problems in life. Mind also we are able to manage sometimes. But what about the spiritual aspect? How will I connect to that spiritual aspect? One method is this, Deva. Every day do the Dev Puja. That's why in our culture we have Kul Devta. Why Kul Devta? Because there are so many gods which are there, but this is the Lord of the family. So if I have not chosen any particular Lord who is my Ishta Devta, at least the Lord of the family is there, the Kul Devta is there, so go and worship. So the habit is formed. Samskar is there. Then I slowly choose from many forms my Ishta Devta and hold on to a form, do the puja. So means to tune up. So Deva, literal worship. Dvija is a Brahmana. Dvija is a Brahmana, Guru is one's own Guru, and Prajna is a wise person who is a realized person. In these contexts, it is not physical puja only. It sometimes may not even be physical puja. You don't have to do physical puja of a Brahmana. But it means you respect knowledge. You revere people who have dedicated their life to knowledge. So here puja means reverence. If a Guru is there, you may actually do a Pada puja of the Guru also. Like we used to do for Gurudev, Pada puja. Worship his feet. Symbolizing, I worship the knowledge he or she is established in. And wise people, Prajna, is the people who have realized the truth. We revere them because they represent to us the culmination of evolution. That here is a person who has evolved from human to divine. And looking at that person, I get inspired that even I can evolve from human to divine. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Physical discipline. So every day one has to do that puja. If there is a picture of the Guru or the Sadguru, one remembers, one invokes the memories of the Sadguru, disciplines one's life. So Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Shaucham, cleanliness. Again, cleanliness is here at the physical level. And Bhagavan says that cleanliness is a tapas. How unfortunate it is that so many of our temples remain unclean. Bhagavan says cleanliness is a tapas. And that external cleanliness shows the inner purity of mind also. Keep everything clean, neat, no dust, no dirt, unorganized things, messed up table. All that shows confused, cluttered mind. The cleanliness, one simple discipline, but one discipline which can save a lot of time. Take things from where you take and put it back there only. Otherwise we keep searching all over. Where is my car key? And finally where it is in the pocket only. Unorganized, so much things are. So cleanliness, shaucham, arjavam. Now straightforwardness here means what? Straightforwardness here means at the body level, the body language which we have, let it be graceful and humble. Not, that some people when they walk, how they walk, say akkad they walk like that. Walk gracefully, humbly, simply. No need of any ego and pomp and show and all that. Straightforward. Straightforwardness also is what you are inside, that way you are outside. Very meaning of the word Arjun is Riju, one who is straightforward. He felt sorrow within, so he had that expression outside. Not like Duryodhan who was hiding something else inside his heart, went to the Guru and taunted the Guru and came back, instead of asking for help. So straightforward even in the body language, not hiding. And of course you can use the discretion in front of whom you have to reveal what. Not that every time in front of everybody, you are miserable and start your long story of sadness. Not required. But there is no disintegration between the mind and the body. So, shaucham arjavam. Brahmacharyam, person who lives in moderation. For a brahmachari who is studying, of course, complete celibacy is what is required. But for a grahasthi, controlled indulgence. So Gurudev is to define brahmacharya as moderation, not just in the sensual pleasure, the carnal pleasure, but in every aspect, in eating, sleeping, talking, in every aspect, if there is moderation, then that mind is available to think of the Lord. Brahmani charati iti brahmachari. The mind which thinks about Brahman is called brahmachari. So that way brahmacharya is a discipline whereby I regulate my indulgence and indulge only moderately, in control, with the discipline that is required. Ahimsa. Ahimsa at the physical level is causing minimum harm. And even if some harm has to be caused, harm should be caused in such a way that there is minimum pain. We cannot avoid himsa totally at the physical level, because the law of life is life subsists on life. But we can definitely minimize the violence. So ahimsa. Even if you see, suppose a doctor has to operate on us, there is a wound. If it is very serious, what will the doctor do? Put anesthesia, so that I don't have so much of pain. So himsa, even if it has to be done, it has to be done with that attitude that let there be minimum himsa. Even if you have to do some himsa, like you have to kill a cockroach or you have to kill a mosquito, you can do it with sympathy in your heart. Don't do it with such hatredness. That is not only hinsa at the physical level, but hinsa at the mind level also. Have some sympathy. And there are some people who are under some great delusion that by killing them we are giving them liberation. You are not giving any liberation. So even if I have to kill, if you see that movie Avatar, in that what do they show that, right? When they have to kill also, they pray to that animal whom they have to kill, and they say, I'm very sorry, I have to do this, please forgive me. They connect to that animal, they have sympathy, they have sensitivity, then they do it. So ahimsa, minimum himsa at the physical level, and more of it definitely is emotional level, but here it is in the physical discipline. So all these are shariram tapa uchyate. If I do every day some puja, if I am revering the wise people, learned people, the guru, cleanliness, straightforwardness in the body language, I have moderate indulgence, and I have non-violence. I practice. These are 5 disciplines at the body level. If one can practice this, what will happen? The body will be fit, firm, fine to do the sadhana. My relationship with the things and people around will be harmonious. And this tapas, when I practice, it regulates a lot of unnecessarily what we would have otherwise done and wasted our time, energy, effort, so many things. So this is sharirik tapas. Now comes the manasik tapas, vachik tapas, the speech, the austerity of the speech.
Anudvegakaram vakyam.
Anudvegakaram vakyam.
Satyam priyahitam chayata.
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
Swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva.
Swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva.
Vangmayam tapa uchyate.
Vangmayam tapa uchyate.
Anudvegakaram vakyam. Satyam priyahitam chayata. Swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva. Vangmayam tapa uchyate.
So he says anudvegakaram vakyam. The speech, the control of the speech is very important aspect here. So many things happen in our life just because we don't have control over our speech. Yesterday we spoke about it. A person who can control taste and a person who can control speech has gone long ahead in spiritual path. In fact, in Vivek Chudamani, Shankaracharya says, Yogasya prathama dwaram vang nirodham uchyate. The first door or the first step in yoga is control of the speech. All extrovertedness of the mind many times starts with the speech. Even if you see in relationships, what happens? It is a speech which is the cause of major problem. The mind gets extroverted the moment one starts speaking. Even before lust can arise in somebody's mind, it starts with the speech and thinking. One starts in the talking, starts taking some liberty, now and then pass some unnecessary comment, pass some useless remark, and throw some unnecessary hints. It starts with that. So here he says anudvegakaram vakyam. So one needs to control the speech. Anudvegakaram vakyam. Speak in such a way that it doesn't agitate people. Meaning speak politely. Don't speak words which will disturb other people. But Swamiji, sometimes when I speak, everybody gets disturbed only. See, they getting disturbed is their problem, as long as you have not used words which are disturbing. We have to be very careful of the words which we use, that they should not agitate somebody, they should not create excitement in somebody, they should not be insulting, that tone of degradation should not be there, looking down should not be there, condemnation should not be there. Upanishad has such nice examples for it. There was this very famous statement, Tat-tvam-asi, which is given by Uddalak Rishi to his son Shvetaketu. So now Shvetaketu has become of the age where he has to go and learn, get educated. And he is almost now 10 years, which is quite late for that time to start education. Father doesn't get irritated. Father doesn't say, "Arey, what a fool you are, why are you not going to the Guru, why are you not learning?" He doesn't insult him at all. He says, "My dear son, in our family, nobody has remained illiterate so far." That much only he says. So the son says, "Okay, father, I will go, let me go." And he goes. When he goes, he stays with his Guru, and after his education is over, when he returns with such arrogance, and the way he comes, father knows that this guy has got it into his head now. So much pride and arrogance. Again, the father does not taunt him or criticize him, condemn him. He just asks him that, "Did you ask your teacher that, knowing which everything becomes known?" And in arrogance, the boy replies also that if the teacher knew, he would have taught me. Again, the father doesn't condemn him, saying, "What a fool you are." He just tells him very politely that, "Did you ask for it?" There the boy realizes, "No, I made a mistake." Then he says, "Sorry, father, but please you teach me. I don't want to go back to my Guru. You please teach me, knowing that everything becomes known." And there 9 experiments he does, and with each experiment he tells him, "Tat tvam asi, that thou art." Very politely, the whole conversation takes place. In Ramayana, when Ramji has to explain to Mother Kaushalya that he has to go to forest, now everybody has been told that he will be the crown prince next day morning, and he has to break this news to his mother. What does he do? He doesn't say that, "Look at your husband, what a wretched fellow he is. He promised me and now he is not giving me the kingdom." He doesn't use all that. He just says, "My father has given me the kingdom of the forest, and that is the best for me, because I can do tapas." He changes the whole outlook. Same news he has to say, but lot of difference it makes. Anudvega karam vakyam. One has to speak without agitating, and that requires great tapas, that requires great maturity and clarity also. When we get very disturbed, then we are not able to hold back. We push it on to somebody else. So if I am speaking udvega karam vakyam, it only means that I am insecure and disturbed from inside. Anudvega karam vakyam. There are some people who say, "Swamiji, I tell the truth, and I am very blunt and frank about it. That's why people don't like me." The Shastra didn't tell you to tell it blunt and frank. Tell it politely, tell it in a way which doesn't agitate people. Suppose there is a doctor and he knows that this disease is reached the case where it can't be cured. How rude it will be if the doctor says, "Hello, you are a gone case now. Nothing will happen." Now it is a fact that nothing can be done, but will you say like that? You are a gone case. One has to say it in a way in which it is acceptable, in a polite way. It should not agitate me, it should not agitate the other person, however tough that, however disappointing that truth may be. Anudvegakaram Vakyam. Other day I read one PJ, it said that till I was 10 years old, one child said, till I was 10 years old, I thought my name was stupid. Because the mother kept on telling, hey stupid, don't do this, hey stupid, don't do that, hey stupid, sit here, hey stupid, come here. So the boy thought his name is stupid. Anudvegakaram Vakyam. When we talk, is there a tone of even a little bit of condemnation? In the whole Gita you will see, in fact Arjuna has asked one question only for 3 times in the whole Gita. First he asked a question in 3rd chapter, then same question he asks in the 5th chapter, again the same question he asks in the 18th chapter. Man, Bhagwan doesn't say, what a dull-headed fellow you are. Why are you asking this again and again? Politely he explains, Anudvegakaram Vakyam. This is valid or not? Whether this is confirmed, verified information or not our own assumptions. I just thought so, so I said it. Hey, what is a confirmed fact? You first find out. Don't assume and just project. So it has to be Satyam, Priyam. And that Satyam has to be spoken in a way in which it is loving. Satyam, Priyam and Hitam. If there is a Satyam which is not beneficial, you don't need to tell also. That is not called untruth. That is not called hiding. If there is a truth, knowing which there is no benefit which is going to come. Somebody is there, his life is going on very harmoniously, and there is a particular information about something which has happened. You don't need to go and inform him if that is going to create unnecessary disturbance in his harmonious life. Somebody's daughter ran away with somebody's son. And there is a 3rd person who is sitting there, who is not even connected. You don't even need to go and tell. Because it is not beneficial at all. It is unnecessary gossip. So if there is a truth, if there is benefit in knowing that truth, then it has to be told. Many times the doctors will not tell the truth to the patient because the patient may not be in a state to even take it. The person may get into a shock and that may affect. So the doctor will hold back. Why? Because that is in the benefit of the patient. So it is the truth. Is it beneficial and is it spoken lovingly without agitation? All the 4 are very important, not any one. In the commentary of Shankaracharya, he writes that if you compromise on any one, then you have not done Vak Tapas. All the 4 must be there. It should be truth, it should be spoken lovingly, it should be spoken for the benefit, and it should be spoken without creating agitation. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, and one more point to be added is Mitam. In measured words you can tell. There are some people very expert. In question answer session, that happens typically. So that's why we don't allow people to stand up and ask questions. Because what is the question we don't know finally. He is going round and round and round. So Gurudev always used to say, you write the question and give. So speak in measured words. Lord Ram was an example of that. We will speak in measured words. There was one man, he gave a lecture, went on and on and on and on giving the lecture. Audience got very bored. Finally this fellow ended. When he was coming back, he asked his wife, so, how was the speech? Was it not very good? He said, yes, the speech was very good, but you don't have to be eternal to be immortal. He's going on and on and on. He asked his friend, how was the speech? He said, the speech was very good, but you missed many opportunities where you could have stopped. You lost all the opportunity where you could have stopped. Going on and on and on. Some people will say the same thing again and again, repeat 4 or 5 times. So measured words. Satyam, Hitam, Priyam, Mitam, Anudvegakaram Vakyam. Then he says, Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva. How will you get these four? Now 5, sorry. How will you get these 5? If you do Swadhyaya, every day if you do your study, you keep your intellect inspired, you will not get agitated. You will learn to be more sattvic. You can present the same thing in a more polite and positive way. So study of the scripture or study of some inspiring literature is very important to keep the intellect inspired. And abhyasanam, abhyas, practice. So practice of japa, practice of chanting, practice of bhajan, practice of kirtan purifies the speech. And that speech which is purified can follow these 5 aspects. So when we take the name of the Lord, we purify the speech. How else do we purify our speech? If we have to take bath, we purify the body by taking bath. How do you purify the speech? Not just by brushing the teeth, nothing happens. What has to be done is take the name of the Lord, purify. The whole character of Ratnakar transformed from a dacoit into a saint just because of the name of the Lord. So the name has great power. With that Shraddha, when I do abhyas, that every day I do chanting, that power of chanting, vibration created, not only will purify my speech, creates that environment around me of sattva, of positivity. So Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva Vangmayam Tapa Uchyate. This is called as the tapas of the speech. And this tapas of the speech is something which if one can consciously practice, one cannot, to become maun is very easy. Even a fool can do that. I won't talk only. Maun. And to go on prattling endlessly also people can do. But to practice this is a real tapas. To practice it in such a way that I don't agitate. So if I am disturbed by something, let us say some email has come, some letter has come, very disturbed I am. If I can't follow these 5, best thing is don't respond at that time. Wait for 2 days. Next, after 2 days, you sit and type the reply to that email. Read it once again. See if there are any words which are hurting, which are unnecessarily going to create agitation. What will the person across feel? That much sensitivity if one has, unnecessary quarrels, conflicts, word fights, all that can be reduced. Mind will remain focused on the spiritual path. So that is tapas of the speech. Now comes the tapas of the mind. 16th verse.
Mana prasada saumyatvam.
Mana prasada saumyatvam.
Maunamatma vinigraha.
Maunamatma vinigraha.
Bhava samshuddhirityetat.
Bhava samshuddhirityetat.
Tapo manasamuchyate.
Tapo manasamuchyate.
Mana prasada saumyatvam. Maunamatma vinigraha. Bhava samshuddhirityetat. Tapo manasamuchyate.
So tapas of the mind is mana prasada. The mind is undisturbed. Sad means to sit down. Meaning the mind has settled down, mind is calm, serene. In the Gita there is a 2nd chapter, in that there is a beautiful line. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopa. When there is prasad buddhi in our mind, whatever comes we are able to accept and the mind doesn't get agitated. So the capacity to accept whatever comes and keep the mind calm is mana prasada. That my mind is calm. Even in the most difficult circumstance, I learn how to be calm. We had a whole talk on that, calm amidst chaos. How to be calm, even in the difficult circumstance. That is the test of one's spiritual strength actually. That things may be going 6s and 7s everywhere, all around, but still I can be calm. Handle it maturely, objectively. That comes through one factor, that is acceptance. Okay, this has come now. In a temple, when the prasad is given, why is one not disturbed? Because one is filled with gratitude that this has come from Bhagavan. Whatever we face in life, this has come now from the Lord. I accept it. Okay, this is how it is right now. Instead of asking why this to me, I ask how do I face it? This has come now, how do I face? So mana prasada, mind is calm. Saumyatvam, the mind is full of goodness. One cannot be calm if there is wickedness, crookedness, manipulation, because that mind will only be disturbed, attached mind it is. The power of goodness we generally underestimate. If we ask, do you want to be smart or you want to be good? What will you say? Swamiji, we want to be smart. Why? Because good people will suffer. But smart people can make others suffer. So I want to be smart. If you are a good person, you will be taken for granted. You be smart. And the beauty is, if you ask somebody, you tell somebody that you want to be good or smart, he will say smart. But he will tell other people, hello, be good to me, okay, don't be smart with me. So we underestimate the power of goodness actually. If I am genuinely good, my connection with people, my relationship, trust, etc. comes from that genuine goodness. It doesn't come by some superficial methods that you are constantly in touch with them, you call them, you follow up with them. Even in simple sales and marketing and all that, it is the genuine goodness which will appeal to the people, not the unnecessary, continuously being in touch, and it will become like a nagging then. If there is genuine goodness, it will impress people. And that is what is good for me. As an individual, if I am having that power of goodness within me, that is tapas actually. To build that goodness within me, not to allow the ego to be cunning, manipulating and finding devious ways. Doesn't mean that I cannot be smart. It is not that good people are dumb. A lot of people think that way. If I am good, bichara bhala admi hai. What bichara bhala admi hai? If there is sattva guna, that goodness is based on sattva guna, that person will be strong and will be smart. Because a rajasic person is caught within oneself. One's own expectation, likes, dislikes, one is caught, trapped. Can't see beyond. Sattvic person is above that. Can very clearly see. Even can foresee what is going to happen. The cunningness of the opposite person, one will know much before the person even starts doing. Because I am so alert. I am out of preoccupation with myself. So the really good people are not people who are dumb. They are people who are strong, who are smart. But their smartness is based on goodness. If you see in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira is the example of goodness. Duryodhana is the example of smartness. And Vidur is the example of smartness plus goodness. Krishna is the example of smartness plus goodness. Very smart. At the same time, very, very good. So we have to have that combination of smartness based on the goodness. That is why sattva guna is so important. So he says here that mana prasada saumyatvam, goodness. Maunam. Maunam here, it is not said maunam in the speech discipline, it is said maunam in mind. Because a calm mind is a happy mind. A calm mind is a creative mind, a loving mind. That is maunam. Maunam here doesn't mean thoughtlessness. That is the highest meaning. Maunam. Very often I quote Meher Baba. He says a fast mind is a sick mind. Mind which is always in agitation, fast, thinking too many things. Fast mind is a sick mind. Slow mind is a sound mind. But a still mind is a divine mind. Mind which is still experiences divinity. So even spiritually, calm mind is a mind which knows the truth. If I have to do work efficiently, I need a mind which is quiet, calm, conflict-free mind. Today people talk about it, right? That IQ is not enough, EQ is very important, emotional quotient. If your emotional quotient is not high, even if you are the best performer, very efficient, a CEO or a very top class performer in sports or a student, if there is some emotional conflict and the mind is disturbed, what happens? Can't perform. Maunam means quietude of the mind. Vedanta gives another meaning of Maunam. Maunam means, the word Maun comes from Muni. Muni means one who is contemplative. Manana Shilavan iti munihi. Munehe bhavam maunam. A person who is calm, and because the mind is calm, one is contemplative. One can think of the divine. One can contemplate on the truth. And one can finally get established in that truth that I am that. That is Maunam. So in meditation one gets into that state. Physical Maunam actually finally leads to the Maunam of the mind. Otherwise Maunam has no meaning. People do Maunam and they make everybody else more active. That is not Maunam. Might as well you talk and say, if you want to drink milk, just say na, give milk, 2 words. And we start saying, Are kya? Then they bring water. Now how do you say milk? Some 20 times you have to do some gestures and then say bring that milk. That is all useless. Idea is that mind should become contemplative. So Maunam, Atma Vinigraha. One has the capacity to control oneself, not react. All that we learn today, respond, don't react. Create a gap between the stimulus and yourself so that you don't react, you can respond consciously rather than react impulsively. So mind which has controlled itself, Bhava Samshuddhi, all the above will happen if there is Bhava Samshuddhi, purity of motive. Purer the motive, quieter the mind. Quieter the mind, greater the contemplation, greater the happiness, greater the peace. So Bhava Samshuddhi, is my motive pure? That Bhava Samshuddhi comes if my motive is sattvic. Bhava Samshuddhi Rityetat Tapo Manasam Uchyate. This is called as the tapas of the mind. Now, having told these 3 types of tapas, Bhagavan says, these 3 types of tapas you can do in a sattvic way, rajasic way and tamasic way. If you do these 3 types of tapas with the sattvic attitude, what it will be? 17th verse.
Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastatrividham naraihi aphalakankshibhiryuktaihi Satvikam paricakshate Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastatrividham naraihi aphalakankshibhiryuktaihi Satvikam paricakshate.
Bhagavan says, Shraddhaya paraya taptam. This tapas of the body, mind and speech, if one does with supreme faith that I am doing this for my own evolution, I am doing this because this is the need, this is the duty, this is to be done. This is the way one should be. The speech must be like this. It is not that such people who have the capacity to speak the truth, speak it lovingly and speak it for the benefit, speak it in measured words, they are doing something extraordinary. It looks like that to us, but that is what the speech is supposed to be actually. That is how the swabhav, that's how the speech must be. Then the harmony in relationships and within oneself is maintained. So this is the duty, this needs to be done. So with that right attitude one does this, not for any other reason, because this needs to be done, this is the duty. Tapas tat trividham naraihi, and all the three, actually the way in which it has been given, that kind of tapas can be practiced only by a person who has sattva guna. Person who has rajasic nature, will he be able to practice anudvega karam vakyam? Very difficult. Not possible only. Will keep on creating agitation. Person who is tamasic will not be able to practice anudvega karam vakyam. In fact, gossiping, backbiting is considered tamasic, not even rajasic. You plant seed of instigation in somebody's mind, that is called rajasic. You instigate somebody. So what mantra did to Kaikeyi is rajasic, instigation. But unnecessary gossip, that is tamasic. Now that person can't follow the tapas of the speech. If they follow tapas of the body, they can't follow tapas of the speech. If they follow tapas of the speech, they can't follow tapas of the mind. They can't follow all the three. Only a person who is sattvic will be able to follow tapas of all the three. That's why he says, tapas tat trividham naraihi. Then he says, aphala kankshibhir yuktaihi. They don't desire anything else. That when my speech will become like this, then I will be the best orator in the world. To be the best orator in the world, I am practicing it. No. Aphala kankshibhir. They are doing it out of the very love for doing it. Because this is how it should be. Satvikam parichakshate. Then it is called satvik. There was one PJ which I read. It said that a small child went to the mother and said, Mummy, can I get 10 rupees for being good? And mummy says, I thought you could be good for nothing. Why? Because you're supposed to be good. You can't say that, you be good and I'll give you 10 rupees. Well, that is the way you should be actually. So this is the sattvic thing, that a person practices all the three, not out of any other reason. Because this is the way it should be, and this is how the Lord would want the body, mind, intellect to be, and then the best of the body, mind, intellect will come out when I am practicing that sattvic tapas. What is the rajasic tapas?
Satkaramana pujartham
Satkaramana pujartham
tapodambhena chaivayata
Tapodambhena chaivayat
kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalamadhruvam satkaramana pujartham tapodambhena chaivayat kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalamadhruvam. So rajasic people, they follow this tapas. They may also live in discipline, cleanliness, doing the puja every day, practicing body's tapas. They may also try to control their speech and try to put things in a loving way. Try to do abhyas every day of some japa, some kirtan. Manasik tapas also they may practice. But why do they do? Satkara mana pujartham. Because they want some praise, some appreciation, some recognition. Satkara mana pujartham. So they always look forward to it. That people will praise me. Arey, what a tapasvi he is. Come what may, every day he does his japa. Every day. If people say that on their own, that is a different thing. Idea here is that this man is doing it for that sake. So even if he is sick, he can't get up, he will make a big dhong. मुझे पूजा रूम तक ले चलो, मैं ये नित्य साधना करता हूँ हर रोज भगवान के सामने. पिछले 25 साल से आज तक एक बार भी मेरी पूजा छूटी नहीं. Dambha only, unnecessary. So doing it for that purpose is rajasic. That consistency is there, that one is doing it every day, nothing wrong. That's a beautiful thing. That you do it every day. But if it is done with satkara, mana, pujartham, dambhena chaivayat. Sometimes one does it out of false pride also. Just as a pomp and show. One doesn't feel anything inside, but outside one has to do big pomp and show. So dambhena chaivayat. Kriyate tariha proktam rajasam chalamadhruvam. They will do it only as, some big ये महात्मा जी अभी समाधि में जाने वाले हैं. Nobody can meet him, nobody can talk to him. मिलना है तो अभी मिल लो, चलो. Come now. Why make such a big announcement and all that? If you have to go to Samadhi, just go quietly. But no, dambha. Reporters should come, take the pictures, put it, such and such Mahatma. So one does all that. Then that whole tapas which is being done is done for rajasic purpose. Not for the sattvic evolution, but my ego, pride, name, all that should come. Now you see the contrast. In the sattvic person, Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam. One worships that. The Lord, the Guru, the higher ideals. Here, Mana, Satkara, Puja is all mine only. The quality of Rajoguna is I. So even if the tapas is done, actually the idea of tapas is reduce the ego pressure. But in a rajasic way if it is done, that same tapas will boost my ego pressure. So it is very important. That's why when Arjun asked the question that if somebody is doing it with Shraddha, he may not know what the Shastra says, but one is doing that puja with Shraddha, then what happens to that person? Bhagavan doesn't say that that is good. It depends on what is that Shraddha. If it is rajasic, then that is rajasic. That person is having a limited vision of it. Sattvic is more selfless, done as a duty, done to reduce the ego pressure. Now comes the tamasic one. Yet some people do even tamasic tapas. 19th verse.
मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत्
मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत्
पीडया क्रियते तपः
पीडया क्रियते तपः
परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा
परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतं
मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
Bhagavan says that some people do the tapas mudha grahena atmanoyat. They do it with such foolish notions. Pidaya kriyate tapa. They just torture themselves unnecessarily. They will not eat food. And one of the things that people generally do is to control anger, they will do fasting. Now, what is the connection? In fact, it will not reduce the anger, it will create more anger. Because a hungry mind is an angry mind. हम नहीं खाएंगे, बस I'll torture myself. I will not sleep. Why? Because I acted in a very lusty manner. I am not going to sleep now. Okay, don't sleep. That by itself is not going to help us to get over that particular weakness. Mudha grahena atmanoyat. One person, I told you the other day, sometimes they do the tapas, they torture themselves. So one man was there standing with his hand up like that. So they asked him, why are you doing that? I want peace of mind. I said, what is there connection between standing with like this and peace of mind? Mudha, a delusion. All the people should come and they should know that, how many years have you been standing like this? For last 15 years I am standing like this. Did you get peace of mind? No. What will you do? I will struggle more hard. I will lift second hand also. Arey, what is the connection? To get peace, you don't have to stand. You have to understand. That is all. Understand the nature of the mind. That's all you need to do. But connection only will not be there. That's called mood tapas. What you want, what tapas you are doing, no connection. Mudha grahen atmano yat pidaya kriyate. They torture themselves also. They torture others also. Parasya utsadanartham. Sometimes they do it to harm others. So all that black magic and all that which comes where they try to control somebody and then Vashikaran and all which is there. So you try to control somebody and then there is one doll and then you keep putting the pin on that and then something will happen to that person out there, and all that kind of black magic is done to torture the other person. And one gets very curious. Swamiji, really? That happens? No, it is a science which is there. Black magic is a science which is there. But we don't have to get scared of it, because if you don't allow, nothing happens to you. If your mind is strong, nothing will happen. Germs are there all around us. Are they not constantly attacking us? If our immunity is strong, nothing happens. And in fact, it is the other way. If the person is strong, the black magic energy which is directed to that person rebounds on the other fellow. But they will do parasya utsadanartham va tat tamasamudahrutam. That is called tamasic tapas. So they may do all this body tapas, mind tapas, intellect, speech tapas, but in a tamasic way. As I said, they will do gossiping, they will do backbiting. Now and then they may control the speech, but all that is what? Only to instigate somebody, only to win somebody's confidence, and after that you show your real colors. All that is tamasic. Nice, sweet talk, so that the opposite person will completely get deluded, what a nice person he is. And once that relationship is built, then slowly show your colors. All that is tamasic. The intention is to hurt somebody, to cheat somebody. So even if sometimes japa is done, but if that japa is done with that attitude to hurt somebody or harm somebody, it is tamasic only. So that's why it is very important to know that what is the tapas and with what attitude that is being done. So now, having said this, he goes on to the last aspect, which is dhanam. Dhan is something which is very wonderful aspect in our culture. What is dhan? To share whatever is abundance with one out of joy is dhan, in simple words. If I have abundance of money, I share with the needy, with the people who require it. They don't have to be only poor. If there is a worthy cause, then you associate there. So, if I have a certain abundance, to share that abundance with others, whether it is dhan of money, vidya dhan, samaya dhan, shram dhan, different types of dhan are there. Whatever I have in abundance, I can share with people, and that sharing is a very important aspect. Actually, it begins with sharing, but dhan is literally giving. You give. The attitude of giving must come into our life. That is why the dhan is there. Because we are getting lot of things from people, from the society, from the Lord, from the nature. We keep getting. When will I give? If I have to be happy in life, I have to be in a mode of giving. So one way to inculcate that is have the habit of dhan, where you give. Give out of joy, give whatever you have abundance, and there is no point in time where I don't have anything in abundance. There is. I have health, let me give some of my shram dhan, let me go and help somebody physically. If I have time, let me give time. If I have cheerfulness, happiness within, let me smile, let me give some compliment, let me give some good words. Wealth, resources, knowledge, different types of dhan are there. So idea is to give. In that way, dhan is actually even a duty. especially of a householder, it is a duty. Now why it becomes a duty? Because the importance of dan is, when I hold on to something, I am very attached to that, that brings me sorrow. When I give something, by giving I assert my independence towards it and slowly develop detachment. As I develop detachment from that thing, slowly I can even get out of my possessiveness for that thing. Sometimes we give things, but we give it with possessiveness. We still think this is mine. But at least I have taken the step to part with it, I have given. So if I am very attached to money, I say, okay, give, donate. If I am very attached to my knowledge, no, share. No, whatever I am very attached to, I am holding on to, let me learn to give, so that my mind expands. So first step is to give. Second is to give up the possessiveness towards it. After you give, you drop it. It is not yours anymore. You have given it. You know, Gurudev used to teach us this in a very subtle way. Somebody would have come and given him a gift. Let us say somebody would have given him a gold watch. So Gurudev will wear that watch. And within, let us say, next 5 days, another person has done such good work, such good seva, and has contributed so much to the certain project or some yajna or organizing or something. What he will do? He will remove that watch, give it to that person. Many times he would do that in front of the person who has donated it to him. One lady was there like that. She got so angry and disturbed. Hare Swamiji, that watch I gave you, why you gave it away to that person? Gurudev said, you gave it to me now. Whose it is now? It is my watch. I will do what I want with it. Why are you so possessed about it? You have given it. It's over. You did your job of you gave it. Many times that happens. We give, but our possessiveness remains inside. So slowly I learn to give what I am attached to. Slowly I learn to move from that to giving up my possessiveness, mamata, my. And you know what happens? If you do these two, then only it becomes easy to give up I. Because this I which is there is nothing but an expression in our daily life of this my only. My body, my wealth, my car, my this, my that. So that attachment expresses as myness. So I am attached to my opinion also, I am attached to my feelings also, I am attached to my body also. That myness is there. Slowly that possessiveness, when it goes, it paves way to drop I-ness also. In a Grahasti's life, because I have worked so hard, I have earned the wealth, I have built my bungalow, I have got my car, I have got my wealth, I have got my prosperity, that I-ness can become very strong. And hence to reduce that I-ness, dan is given as a duty for a Grahastha. And in fact, on the dan of Grahastha, the education was always free. Gurukul system, if you see, they never charge fees. People who have finished their education and get into Grahastha, they would feel grateful that, we have received so much of knowledge, let us support the education of some more such students. Today government is talking about primary education being free and all that. Education in India was always free, and that is how we revered knowledge. And so the Grahasthi would do dan with that bhavna that I have got so much, let me share, let me give it out of gratitude. In this giving, what is important is, first of all, I should give what belongs to me. Okay. I can't lift somebody else's thing and give. Chalo, dan, le lo. There was one man, every day he used to come to Grant Road and get down at Grant Road station to walk across and join his company for work. There was a beggar who used to sit always there. And this man would every day drop 1 rupee. For years this happened. One day he found that this beggar is not there. 1 week happened, 1 month happened, the beggar is not there. Somebody else is there. This fellow is not there. So after a month or so, he went to Dadar, and when he got down there, he found that this beggar is sitting there in Dadar. So he was curious. He said, you used to sit there in Grand Road. Now what happened to you? Why are you sitting here? He said, just 1 month ago, my daughter got married. So in Dahej, I have given that Grand Road station to him. And I am sitting here. So that fellow, he donated, he gave. He said, my son-in-law took that away. So my son-in-law is sitting there. I can give only what belongs to me. I can't lift anything else and just keep giving. Kya kiya daan kar diya, le lau. So first of all, what belongs to me, I have to give. Let me give with the attitude that actually who is the giver? Data ek Ram, Bhikhari sari dunya, actually. We only keep asking. Suppose I lift somebody else's thing and give it away. Are we not doing that? We are taking things belonging to God only and giving it actually to God only, actually. So many times in puja we do that only. That's why we keep reminding ourselves, Tera, Tujko, Arpan, kya lage mera? Nothing belongs to me. So real giver is Bhagwan. So when I give what belongs to me. I give with joy. I give with the bhavna that may this person benefit. I give with that attitude that this is my duty to give. So I don't feel the ego that, I am the giver and you are the receiver and all that. The very purpose of daan gets defeated. A lot of people say, Swamiji, why should we not have recognition when we give daan? Because the purpose of daan is not to boost your ego. The purpose of daan is to get out of this attachment, possessiveness, ahankar. All these I have to get out of. And hence, when I give daan, I give it for a noble cause. I give it in such a way that my ego is not boosted. And I give it with the final bhavna is that Bhagwan actually is the giver. I am only an instrument. He gives it to the people, to the deserving people. Let it go through me. I am nobody to give. This Rockefeller who was there, he came to meet Swami Vivekananda and he had such a arrogance in him. I am a big philanthropist, I am a big donor, this, that. 3 times he tried to seek appointment of Vivekananda. Vivekananda refused to meet him. 4th time he sent a big check to Vivekananda. And when he sent that big check to Vivekananda, earlier 3 times also he has tried. Vivekananda didn't want to meet him because he had such pride, he wanted to humble him. So 4th time when he came and he sent a big check, Vivekananda called him and gave him back the check and he said, you keep this. I have a wealth which is far greater than what you can even imagine. I don't need this. That day Rockefeller got a shock because nobody has refused him till now. But he had that ghamand of being a very big philanthropist and I am doing this and I am doing that. He got humbled. Next day he came to Vivekananda seeking knowledge. He said, please instruct me, please guide me. With that humility he came. And his pride was humbled there. So when one comes, when one gives, one remembers that let me give it because Bhagwan is the giver. Today I am just an instrument, I have abundance, let me give. So more about this daan we will see tomorrow. 3 types of daan which are there. There is one important aspect here now. Daan when we give, it is out of our fullness that we give daan. In our culture there is a concept of dakshina. Dakshina we give because we have benefited. In daan we have not benefited, but we have something which we want to share.